live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, Lakers got the win. It wasn't the prettiest win. Lakers got to stop blowing 15-point leads, right? Like, Lakers will get out in double digits, go extend the lead, and then just keep letting teams back in it. And it's incredibly frustrating. Every time Memphis's bench, right? Every time their bench came into the game, it was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Them tying the game or taking the lead or whatever. So Lakers need to do a better job. But right now, given how just poorly the Lakers have been playing lately, I'll take the win, right? I'll take any win that we could get right now at this point. So again, solid win. Jake LaRavia, game ball. Luka had his struggles this game. We play Memphis again, literally in 2 days. So got to gear up. It's really hard to beat a team twice in succession. But if you're the Lakers, you need to get on a win streak here, start building some momentum. You kind of let Ja get whatever he wanted at stretches during the game. Got to do a better job of cleaning that up. But LeBron James, I thought was really good this game. 4 turnovers. I didn't like 6 Luka, right? I've talked very heavily about Luka and LeBron need to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Even Marcus Smart had 4 turnovers. Again, got to take better care of the basketball from our ball handlers. But LeBron James, 12-18, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He looked more like the LeBron that we're accustomed to, right? He looked more comfortable out there, more like, the LeBron James that can go and get us buckets and, make plays and run the offense and do all that stuff. Jake LaRavia, like I mentioned, was the star of this game. 8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, hit a huge 3. Same thing with Jared Vanderbilt, right? Vando keeps hitting threes, man. Take it. Give me a 3 a game. That's like 8 straight games. I think he's hit a 3-point shot. But Jake LaRavia, 8 of 12, 3 of 6 from 3, 9 rebounds, including 4 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, and 21 points. DeAndre Ayton, not the greatest game from him personally. Jackson Hayes, I actually thought was more impactful this game. I thought he did a little more in this game to kind of punish the Memphis Grizzlies. I just thought his athleticism and speed and stuff really kind of bothered them. And I thought he kind of did some nice things this game. He had 12 points. Rebounds, he didn't have a ton of rebounds, but just applying the pressure at the rim and whatnot. Luka Doncic, he had 34, but half of those came from the free throw line. He was 17 of 34, or 17 of 20. 17 of his 34 came from the foul line. 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, but 6 turnovers, as I mentioned. I mean, you can't have as many turnovers as rebounds and nearly as many as assists. I got to do a better job in that regard. Nick Smith Jr., I thought was solid. Dalton Connect had his struggles, but overall, I'll take the win. I thought it was a good win. It wasn't the greatest, the most sexiest win. It wasn't anything like that. But it's a win that Lakers need, and they need badly. And so the fact that we're able to pull this out, I'll take it. We'll take the wins where we can get it. Secondly, again, we play Memphis coming up here shortly. So hopefully Lakers can do what they're supposed to do, handle business and get that back-to-back win, because we need the back-to-back wins. We need to start getting a win streak. I talked about January is a month where we could really gain some traction. We could really kind of climb the ladder here as far as in the standings and whatnot, because the Lakers have a very favorable schedule. Right? Lakers, as frustrating as they have been against the good teams, they're beating all the teams that they're supposed to beat, which is good. They're handling business against the teams that they're supposed to handle business against. So to me, it's just keep doing that, and you're going to have a good record through January, and then carry that into February and stuff. Because really, I mean, you go through the January schedule, there's maybe 2 or 3 games that you can argue Lakers probably lose. So I really need a good January. But you started the new year, right? 2025's in the rear view. Whatever happened, all the frustrations. December has been a really bad month period for the Lakers. I've talked about it. They've only had 1 winning December, and they only won by one game. They were 7-6, I believe, off the top of my head. And that was last year. Last year, they were 7-6 in the month of December. Going all the way back to 2020, Lakers haven't had a winning record. 2020, they were 3-2 during the month of December. So December's just been a really bad year for the Lakers for years now, under Frank Vogel, under Darvin Ham, under JJ Redick, all except for, I guess you could argue, last year they had a winning record. But December's been a bad month. Write it off. Hey, it is what it is. Obviously, Lakers still need trades. Lakers need moves. There's still things that need to happen for the Lakers, but I'm glad that the Lakers were able to get that first win, right? Set the tone, set the standard, play Memphis again, handle business, beat Memphis again. Now we're rattling off some wins here. So I like it. I like where we're at. But anyway, let's get into all these super chat questions, all the regular chat questions, because I'm probably not going to do the typical hour that I do. I got to wake up early, and it's already 12:15, and I got to wake up like pretty early tomorrow. Got some stuff going on. So let's dive right into it real quick. Hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. And let's dive into it. Sports Centers. Trade idea. Lakers get Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepard, Steven Adams for Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Dalton Connect. So I actually made a video, not including Steven Adams, but I actually made a video around the time that the Lakers played Houston that was very similar. I think with Austin Reeves and his trade value right now, you could probably get a Jabari Smith Jr. because something that I've talked about, the hard part for the Lakers is getting a trade that actually makes sense value-wise for Austin Reeves. Because right now, Austin Reeves is so cheap, it's hard to justify trading him and getting a quality return that makes sense. Well, Houston desperately needs a playmaker and a secondary shot creator, which Austin Reeves gives you. Austin Reeves provides. Lakers need 3-and-D wing help. I said, could you get Jabari Smith Jr.? I said Tari Eason as well as a Jayshawn Tate. And you'd have to do, off the top of my head, I think it was Austin Reeves. I think it was like Austin Reeves and Gabe Vincent, I think is what you could do in order to get that done. I would personally do that if I could, right? Gives you 2 3-and-D wings, 2 guys that you could literally start next to Luka, LeBron, and Ayton. And then gives you that kind of rotation wing. You'd still have Rui Hachimura. You'd still have Maxi Kleba. Still have your first, still have your second. I would love to do something like that if the Lakers could. But good game. The LeBron-Luka combo wasn't too bad, Tyler. I mean, Luka wasn't great tonight. Most of the scoring came from the free throw line. He did start to hit some shots. 3-point shooting, he was not great. LeBron was doing his part. Like I said, for the most part. But here's the thing. To Luka and LeBron's credit, both of them were much more active. Like Luka was still getting torched, don't get me wrong, but he was at least active, right? He had a couple great defensive sequences on KCP, and KCP just hit the shot. So you just kind of live with it. You just kind of go, like that. That's, at least you made the effort, right? Luka and LeBron actually were making the effort this game, I felt like, which is not something that they've done recently, right? The defense, the turnover. I mean, the turnover is still an issue. Now, again, that combo has not been great. The previous handful of games. That doesn't mean it can't be though, right? Like, again, I even said it in the video that I'm sure you're referring to, right? Like if they can figure it out, great, but they got to figure it out. They got to figure some stuff out. They got to figure out how to kind of keep each other involved, keep each other engaged, and keep each other active out there. So, Chris, what's going on? Appreciate you, buddy. I'll take the win, but honestly, this win doesn't mean much. Take the wins where you can. I'm glad we were able to get this win. Not going to complain about a win. Got to do it again. You play them again. Got to handle business again. But this is, this is something where it's like, you don't want to get too excited yet. Start rattling some stuff off. I think we'll be good. Tyler, how good do you think this team would be with Goodwin and Dorian Finney-Smith? Are they still bad, or close to contenders. I mean, the problem is you're probably not going to have you had to get rid of those guys in order to get, DeAndre Ayton and all those other things. So unless the Lakers were able to find, another trade or figure something out, the problem is we don't know what the rest of the roster looks like. If you take off DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Jake LaRavia and put on Dorian Finney-Smith and Jordan Goodwin, I think the Lakers are probably worse. Because now we still have glaring needs, and those glaring needs are probably part of the reason that we had the issues. But you could argue it might be easier to get a center than it would be 3-and-D wing. So I don't know. It's a hard question to answer, because what does the roster look like? Like, if the Lakers don't land DeAndre Ayton, do they go and make a trade for a center to where, Jordan Goodwin and Dorian Finney-Smith are still on the roster? Maybe they trade for Nick Claxton. Maybe the Lakers are the best team in all of basketball at that point. You also got to keep in mind, Dorian Finney-Smith would have missed pretty much the entire season up until this point. So, you would have had him back. Dorian Finney-Smith played the last 3 games, I think, something like that for Houston, but that's something else you have to keep in mind as well. Shout out to Jake, though. Yeah, Jake was fantastic this game. He really did. He was great on both sides of the basketball. Good job by the Lakers to get back in, to the win column. Tyler, how realistic or possible is it for the Lakers to get Daniel Gafford and Derrick Jones Jr. by the trade deadline? Love the channel content. Go Lakers. Well, first off, I appreciate you, Samuel. Secondly, probably not super likely. Clippers keep winning, so I think the Clippers are going to be good enough between now and the trade deadline for them to talk themselves into not making any moves, right? Like, the problem is you needed them to keep being terrible like they were in the beginning of the season, but they've been really good. They've actually been one of the better teams in basketball. So I don't think Derrick Jones Jr. is an option. And Daniel Gafford, the only way I see Daniel Gafford happening is if it's like a 3-team trade, and Daniel Gafford would have been included in the package, but the Lakers come in. So it's not like Dallas directly trading for Daniel Gafford. But in all honesty, I don't think the Lakers need Daniel Gafford. They need wing depth, personally. I think that should be your priority. Like, Jackson Hayes has been good enough as your backup. And once you get to the playoffs, DeAndre Ayton's playing, 35 minutes a night anyway. Jackson Hayes is playing, any backup center is probably only playing 10 plus minutes a night. So I think I think wing depth is the priority. What's good, Tyler? Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you as well. Happy New Year's to everybody. Let's go. Lakers starting off 2026 the right way. And yeah, I don't care. Rui, I'm sorry. I never want to see you start again. Jake Grizzlies take it over. I mean, the offense, don't get me wrong, is great. I love what he did offensively this game. But I mean, just in general, take away his offense, right? Jake LaRavia just does so much more than what Rui does. Better rebounder, better offensive rebounder. He's better at the margins and the dirty work plays and stuff like that, right? Like, Jake LaRavia, when he's giving you the offense, there's no logical reason to play Rui Hachimura, right? The argument for Rui over LaRavia is that, Rui gives you more consistency offensively. But like I said, you take away LaRavia's offense, take away Rui's offense. What do they do when they're not scoring the basketball? Jake LaRavia just does so much more. He's better defensively, better margin player, better dirty work player, better rebounder, all of those things. Also, Tyler, if you're the Lakers, do you stand put this trade deadline with $100 million you'll have in salary for the offseason? I think the most that the Lakers can have, don't quote me on this, but I think they could have as much as 70. I think it's $71 million if they kind of let everything go and fall off the books, but it's somewhere in that 50 to 70 million range. It depends on what's available and what you could realistically get, right? Like I've said from the beginning, no trade is better than a bad trade, right? Like, I don't want to see the Lakers force a trade and end up doing something that is just, a lateral move essentially, right? Like, Lakers need several pieces. If you can't get those several pieces, sure, I don't mind the Lakers getting some foundation pieces, even if it's just a Terrence Mann, right? You don't give up any assets. Let's just say, Brooklyn just wants to get off of his contract. So if you can just go land a Terrence Mann, sure, right? Is that the move that's going to put us into title contention? Probably not. But it's a step in the right direction. You got a piece that makes sense for now. And, going into next season, the next few seasons, right? Something like that. Um, Again, it just depends on what's going on behind the scenes. Like what is realistic? I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to get like a Herb Jones or anything like that. I think Andrew Wiggins is probably the only realistic option. But the question is, does Miami actually decide to move him? And then if not, then what do you do? Right? Like, I think you need to go get 3 or 4 kind of second tier guys if you're unable to get that clear cut starting level guy. And so again, if you can get 3 or 4 of those second tier guys, then do it. But otherwise, I think if you can find the margin trades, make the margin trades, right? Make the little kind of domino trades. But if there's nothing there, like, I don't want to see the Lakers force it. As frustrating as it would be, as disappointed as we'd all be, I'd rather, like, if we could see 2 different timelines, and it's like, hey, there's this timeline where the Lakers sell the farm for whatever, a Michael Porter Jr., right? Or B, the Lakers stand pat and do nothing. I'd probably rather them stand pat and do nothing, if I'm being honest. Lakers should win on Sunday. Yeah, they should. Should get it back to back. Dustin coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Lakers trade Maxey, Gabe Vincent, and Dalton Connect for Io, Jalen Smith, and Isaac Caro. Caro is your 3-and-D wing. Io is your point of attack defender, and Smith is your stretch 4 or 5. Yes, I've talked heavily about Chicago. Brooklyn and Chicago are the 2 teams that I like the most for kind of that swing trade, right? Like, Chicago's one of those teams that has 3 or 4 guys that you could bring in. I've even talked about, I don't hate the idea of taking on Patrick Williams if it can lead you to guys like Io and stuff like that. It's like, obviously depends on what the market is and stuff like that. But like, if you told me the only way we could get Io, like say Jalen Smith, Io, and Akaro, let's say Chicago's like, yeah, we'll trade those guys to you, but you got to take Patrick Williams too. I would be okay with it, right? Like, his contract, not really ideal, but he's exactly the type of player this Lakers team needs. And he was given that contract because there was a point in time where he was that guy. Right? He's just kind of fallen out, but he's also never played alongside Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves before. And he's that guy that could be that wing, that versatile 3-and-D wing that gives you the size and athleticism, stuff like that. Go get a Jalen Smith, as you mentioned, a 3-and-D wing, Isaac Caro. In a perfect world, you don't have to do something like that. You can just go with Io, Smith, and Akaro. Look, if you can do that, I would do that all day. Solves most, if not all, of the Lakers' problems. Gives you some interesting lineups and rotation pieces. Caro could be your starter immediately. Yeah, I'd be all over that if the Lakers could. You'd have to give up a first, which I'd be okay with, because getting a Caro, the problem is you have to pay Io and a Caro, but like, that's fine to me, right? Like, I think if you get all 3, because they're not going to give you all 3 just for essentially salary filler and Dalton Connect. So you'd probably have to give up your first or something, but that's fine. Because like I said, you're getting 3 young guys for now and the future that you'd have bird rights on, control over. Right? It's a good deal, but appreciate you. Thank you so much. Braun was holding that second group that got the lead and had the group's energy through the roof. If Luka is getting 20 free throws, he needs to have 50. His shot seems super. Yeah, he did not shoot the ball well this game at all. Good for him to be able to get to the foul line and do that stuff, right? Like, when your shot's not falling, still finding ways to contribute offensively. But again, he's got to do a better. Luka's got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball and shooting the ball better. Right? He's really struggling to shoot particularly the 3. Some of it is just the shot selection. Some of it is shot selection, just not great. LeBron James was much more active, right? I talked about this in really several videos recently, right? Like, LeBron's energy isn't there, right? Like, I'm not expecting LeBron to go drop 30 every night, right? Nor should he have to. But like, even last year, we saw LeBron do a lot of the margin stuff. We saw LeBron, active, rebounding the ball, right? Like, LeBron's been having like 2-3 rebound games. It does not LeBron. Usually LeBron, you can clock him in for 6 to 10 rebounds. He grabbed 9 tonight, right? Assist. We've seen him have like 3 assists, right? Like you can usually clock LeBron in for 6 to 10 assists. He had 6 tonight, right? He was much more active. He was much more physical. He was much more aggressive, right? He was playing defense. He was switching on guys. He was calling things out, right? Like, again, like I'm not expecting him to be Superman every night. Again, nor should he. But you got to at least do the half-hearted stuff, right? You got to at least do the things because, I said it like last year, Lakers, Anthony Davis went down. And then after Anthony Davis went down, we ended up trading him. And we were still the best defense in all of basketball because LeBron James was anchoring the defense. So we've seen LeBron James be able to have that impact without exerting a ton of energy and stuff like that. Just, again, being active, communicating, calling things out, staying on top of guys, setting the tone. It starts with the stars. The stars, role players feed off the stars. If the role players are just lazy and not doing what they're supposed to do, then usually it trickles down. But if the stars are active and playing defense, like I can't sit here and watch LeBron play defense and do all this stuff, and I just stand here and do nothing, right? Like either A, I'm getting shipped out, B, I'm getting benched, or C, like, I'm getting yelled at. Maybe all three. So hope we trade for Cam Thomas and Zaire Williams. Look, again, the Brooklyn Nets, another team that I'm really high on, and I'd love to see the Lakers be active in trying to get, without a doubt. Happy New Year's. What's up, Trip Show? Appreciate you. Lakers new background. Yes, I love it. And again, appreciate you, Drip Show. These two posters, these two canvases behind me were from Drip Show. So thank you. Thank you so much. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. And they look great, right? Look at that. Bam. Oh, this way. It's mirrored. It's a computer. There we go. But yeah, I appreciate you. Yes, and it's new year, new me, right? And then the whole thing. 3-and-D guys should be prioritized, but I wouldn't mind getting Claxton either. Lob target, athletic, defensive big would thrive here. Yes. Look, I wouldn't hate Claxton either. Problem is just his contract. Now you're paying him and you're going to have to pay Ayton. Do you really want like 40 plus million in 2 centers? Probably not. You could do the thing where you kind of split the center minutes, like kind of like what Dallas did in their finals run with Gafford and Lively, where both guys just played 24 minutes. DeAndre Ayton, how well he's shooting the mid range, you might even be able to do some unique kind of 2 big lineups. But personally, I'd prioritize wing depth. If you can get a center in the process of it all, like I've talked about, like with Brooklyn, can you get a Cam Thomas, Zaire Williams, Haywood Highsmith, and a Day'Ron Sharpe, where you're just doing kind of one swing trade? Boom. Right? Like, sure. Then, yeah, sign me up for that. And you get a center in the process. Let's see. Get rid of Gabe Vincent, please. He never plays and somehow gets hurt yet. Hopefully, some trades are on the horizon. Looks like Braun won't be the problem tonight. LOL. Yeah, he wasn't tonight. He was fantastic tonight. Again, just need the effort. Gotta have the effort. Still think we trade for Keon and Malik Monk with Gabe Maxey and a 2nd round pick. I'm not against that. Look, I've talked about. If push came to shove, I probably would, but I would be working my tail off to not have to give up an asset because, like, your whole argument is one, yes, Malik Monk is a great player. Go trade his salary, right? There's not many teams that are lining up for Malik Monk, and Sacramento's already tried to trade Malik Monk, and they couldn't, right? Like, so to me, it's like, hey, either keep Malik Monk, or if you can find somebody to take him, then go ahead. Otherwise, we'll take him for you type thing. And he's a guy that makes sense for the Lakers. The Lakers could use his bench production. And then in the process, you get Keon Ellis, right? But also with Keon Ellis, you got to keep in mind, you have to pay him and you run the risk of him walking. So I'd be like, look, we only really want Keon Ellis, right? But we run the risk of him walking. We have to pay him. And we're taking on Malik Monk that you might have to give up an asset in order to get off of him, right? Like that would be my argument. Tyler, Lakers look like contenders tonight, huh? I don't think so, personally. Again, Lakers up 15, kept letting the bench of Memphis get back in it, kept letting the bench of Memphis, literally regain the lead. Lakers ran away with it at the end. Lakers are the best crunch time team in all of basketball, which is good. I made a video about this earlier, right? Like, the stats say the Lakers are a title contender, right? Like, Lakers have a 95% win rate under JJ Redick when leading through three quarters. Lakers are the best crunch time team in all of basketball, 11-0 now, right? They are the best efficiency team, best field goal percentage team, best half court team in basketball, right? Like, all the things that you would want for a playoff run, the Lakers check them all off, right? Like I said in the video, if you didn't watch a single game of the Lakers this year, right? If I just told you, hey, Lakers are, are on pace to win like 53 games or whatever it is, they'll probably finish top 3 seed. They're, all the things that I just mentioned, efficiency, crunch time, all that stuff. You'd be like, wow, like Lakers might do this thing, huh? And then I'm like, yeah, but they can't beat teams that are good, right? It's like, and all the crunch time numbers are against teams that are bad, right? So they're not blowing out the bad teams. They're beating the bad teams, which is good, but they're not blowing out the bad teams, and they can't beat, and they're getting blown out by the good teams, right? It's just, it's a problem. I beat Memphis again, and I'll be a lot more confident, but it's just, there was a lot of things that I didn't like this game, that Lakers need to do better and do a better job of keeping things tighter. He did put on a free throw masterpiece, agreed. Lakers could really benefit with Dorian Finney-Smith. Yeah, look, he's a guy that just impacts the game in so many ways. From his hustle, his defense is great. He's one of the best players in the league at the margin plays, right? Like, those things that just keep stacking up. Players you'd want from the Wizards and the Bulls. Wizards don't have a ton of guys that I want. The Bulls have a lot of guys. Isaac Okoro, like I said, I wouldn't mind Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Jalen Smith. There's, some of their young guys definitely would want. Wizards, off the top of my head, like Bilal, he'd be nice. Chris Middleton, if he was bought out, I wouldn't mind Chris Middleton and just like a rotation guy. If he got bought out, you sign him cheap. Cam Whitmore, I know he's hurt right now. I think he's out for some time, or not hurt, but I think he got blood clots or something like that. Bled Carrington might be a nice like flyer guy. I'm going through kind of a list of guys that like names that aren't really in the headlines of trade targets that I want. Did that with like Rui and D'Lo and stuff like that. We actually ended up trading for both of those guys. That's how I got the Laker Damas thing. One of the guys that I have on that list that I wanted to talk about was Justin Champagnie, Julian Champagnie's brother. I'd really like Justin Champagnie is one of those guys that could slot in 2 through 4 for you, hit shots. So yeah. Problem is, like, Wizards don't have a ton of like Wizards. Like, if the Lakers wanted just young talent that they could develop, Washington has a couple guys, but I don't know if Washington would trade those guys. Washington doesn't have a ton of guys that like Bulls have several guys that are young, but they're more proven. They have more seasoning and would be more impactful. If that makes sense. So yeah. I'm a Luka hater, but Luka had a good game overall. The free throws weren't fun to watch, but they were effective and needed. He didn't have a great game, but at least he was able to get the line. Again, I'm not a fan of the turnover. He's got to take care of the basketball better. He's got to take care of the basketball, and some of that shot selection is just infuriating. If you translate his free throws to field goals made, it would appear better. I think Luka produced enough tonight he needed to clean up the turnovers. So yeah, I mean, again, he still found ways to get impactful. And that's one of the things that makes Luka as great as he is that even when he is struggling offensively, he can still find ways to score and impact the game, which is great. But again, just take care of the basketball. Can someone explain the Triple J jump ball, Hayes pulling his arm and never seen that? Well, JJ, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. had like when they were going up, Jaren Jackson Jr. had his arm pushing down on Jackson Hayes. That's why they called the foul. And they even showed it on the replay because I didn't really notice it either when it first happened. I was like, what did they just call? But when they showed the replay and slowed it down, Jaren Jackson like had his whole arm like on like as Hayes is trying to jump up, has his whole arm, his off arm, like pushing him down. So only time will tell if the Lakers' expiring contracts hold no value. Everyone keeps saying the Lakers have trash. We'll see. Look, there's reports that have came out that teams are searching for expiring contracts. Lakers have some of the most in the league, right? Like, because you got to keep in mind, a lot of these other trades, and which is why I've said, like, I think the Lakers need to get involved in some of these other trades. Like, you're going to have teams like, let's say Atlanta trades for, an Anthony Davis or they trade Trae Young somewhere. They're not going to want a bunch of like salary and a bunch of guys. Like they already have kind of their guys. They need very specific trades. So talked about Lakers might be able to get a player or two or several that they wouldn't have been able to get otherwise, or even guys that we're not even thinking about that wouldn't have been available otherwise, but are simply on the fact that, these other teams are getting this trade done and Lakers can swoop in and do that. Like Lakers, if this trade market or if this trade deadline ends up having like some real movement, Lakers are going to be in a good spot. Like there was a report earlier today that it's expected for it to be kind of slow. If it's kind of slow, that's a problem for the Lakers because that means there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for the Lakers to get involved. Right? If there's a lot of traction, then that gives the Lakers a ton of opportunities to get involved to where now they can, hey, do you want that guy that's making $15 million a year, right, for the next 3 years, or do you want to send him to us and we'll just give you the expiring? You have 5 guys. He doesn't make sense for you, right? Like things like that. So, I've defended Pelinka for a while, but at some point I have to blame him. This team has needed the same thing for 3 years and still haven't gotten it. Yeah, look, I've defended Rob Pelinka myself, and like I've said, most of the stuff that people criticize Rob Pelinka for wasn't even Rob Pelinka's doing, but it's very clear what this team needs. It's very clear, and look, there haven't been like Lakers got everybody that they could have gotten in the offseason, right? Like they got guys that we never even expected the Lakers to solve. So like Rob Pelinka's had a very good kind of, like 8-month span or whatever it's been from the Luka trade to now, right? He needs to continue that run at the trade deadline. If at the trade deadline, again, it also depends on what's available, but if at the trade deadline, he can get, say 2 guys that can come in, play a real role. We still have the assets and everything in the offseason, go make a real splash, but go try to make a run this year, then fine. I'll continue to defend him. But if, it's kind of like nothing happens, it's like, again, no trade is better than a bad trade. And like I always say, like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We only see the aftermath, right? We only see, Rob Pelinka didn't get anything done. And then we're like, like what happened? Then Rob goes like, there's nothing on the market. Like there was nothing for us to do. There was no good trades that moved the margins or anything like that. And all of us just say he's an idiot and don't know. But he might be telling the truth, right? Like we just as fan base, we just don't want to accept no for an answer, right? We want you to figure it out and find something, but it takes 2 to tango, right? So like, again, that's the thing that I think a lot of us lose sight on is like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what conversations are being had. For all we know, again, the price for Ayo Dosunmu might be a second for everyone else, but for the Lakers, it's a first. It's like, we can't trade a first for Ayo Dosunmu. It's like, so what would you rather me do? Would you rather me trade the first and get Ayo Dosunmu to say we got him, or do nothing and then just sign Ayo Dosunmu in the offseason, right? And keep the first. And then now we can go trade for a Trey Murphy or Herb Jones, right? Like, or maybe both, right? Or a Giannis or something like that. Again, it just depends on the circumstance, depends on the situation. But I do a handful of questions here. I'm gonna skate on out of here because, like I said, I got to be up early, one and two. A little under the weather today. At least my throat, I feel fine. Just got the cough and my throat's all groggy all day. Let's see. I've defended Ayton, but he's been on a skid recently. Hayes was far better than him today. The problem is like DeAndre Ayton, they're just not getting him involved, right? Like it's on the playmakers. Like LeBron and which Jackson Hayes is just, I mean, you just throw it up there and he goes and gets it. Like teams are more focused on Ayton. Like watch the way that teams play defense when Ayton's on the court compared to Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is able to slip behind the defense a lot more than DeAndre Ayton is. Part of it is Ayton's athleticism and speed, right? He can get to A to B really quick. But like also Luka and LeBron when Ayton's on the court, or sorry, when Hayes is on the court, they look for him more, right? And maybe that's just they've had more time together, but like they're it's almost like they're always keeping an eye out for Jackson Hayes. They don't really do that with Ayton. Right? Like Ayton's in there to kind of like if Ayton wants 20, he has to go get it, right? But like you also need the attempts, right? So it's just I don't know. I don't really blame him too much. The rebounding is the thing that frustrates me. Like the other night, he had like what was it, like 3 rebounds or something like that, or 2 rebounds. Like that's not good. And then this game he had 6, which is better, right? But like you got to give me at least 8, 10 rebounds. The offense, I get like you have to set up. I mean, how many times do we see Anthony Davis with 12 points, right? Or here's something better. How many times do we see Anthony Davis have 30 through 3 quarters and not score 1 point in the 4th quarter? And all of us, like everyone be screaming Anthony Davis is trash, this, that, and the other. And like, where was he in the 4th quarter? And I'd come on here regularly and be like, Anthony Davis isn't the ball handler. He's the guy that needs setup. It's on the playmakers, right? Like DeAndre Ayton, he's not the one bringing the ball up and making plays and crossing dudes over and stuff. Like you have to give him the basketball. So like, I don't know if I'd call it a skid as much as it's just our guys aren't feeding him the basketball. Like they have stretches where it's like they're constantly looking for him. And then they have stretches where he's like, he might as well not even be on the court. They're not even thinking about him. I still feel LeBron and Luka is having your turn, my turn, handling the offense, which becomes stagnant. I agree. Leading to ISO with one or the other and the corner along with other players spread out. Yeah. No, look, I made a video about it earlier, right? Like that duo has not been great as far as like that pairing. Part of it is neither is really shooting the 3 ball, off ball super well consistently. LeBron was 1 of 5 from 3. Luka was 1 of 7. So it doesn't help because even when you kick it out, right? Like you run that 2-man game and then LeBron leaks out. Luka passes it to LeBron. LeBron jacks up a 3 and he misses. You run that, that straight or that set ran 3 straight times or something, and he misses all 3 times. It looks terrible, right? Where if he's making it 2 out of those 3, you're like, ooh, like things about like, but it's just, it is very like you go, I go. Like they're not very cohesive, right? And you would think with LeBron's athleticism, explosiveness, that they'd be able to kind of work that out better. I do like that they are getting put in 2-man game more because there was a stretch when LeBron first came back where like they weren't really running it. It really was just like you go, I go, you go, I go. And sometimes that is your best offense, right? Sometimes your best offense is just give Luka the ball and everyone get out the way. Sometimes your best offense is just give LeBron the ball and get out of the way, right? Like it depends, but they need to do a better job of getting those two involved and not just like, here you go, I'm going to go stand over here and wait, right? Like, Lonzo Ball and Max Strus for Jake, Gabe, and Maxey. Isn't Max? I think Max Strus is out for. Isn't he out for like couple months. Didn't he get hurt recently? If I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's not a couple months. Maybe it's like a month. But the two-man game should be explored more. Yes, agreed. Like I said, maybe part of it is just they're trying to figure it out. They haven't really had a ton of time together, for being honest. I think when Rui is healthy and ready to go or ready to come back, JJ will have finally seen enough from Jake in the starting group to finally bring Rui off the bench. He gives you that bench scoring that we need. I hope so. My concern is that Rui's going to come back and get injected right back into that starting unit. And I just don't think that's the right idea. Right? I think you go, like I said, either Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt or Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia. I even did the video about it. Like, I don't mind Jake LaRavia because he gives you a little more offense than Jared Vanderbilt. And he's still really good at the margins. Good defensively, all of that. Lakers also finally won the starting minutes, right? Lakers have not been winning the start. The last 15 games, they've lost the starting minutes. Tyler, do you think the Lakers should wait and trade for the offseason? Again, it just depends on what's available. If there's a move there to be had, take it, right? Like, it just, if there's, again, I don't want the Lakers to force the issue. If a trade's there that makes sense, make that trade. Take that trade. If there isn't, don't force that trade, right? Like, take the trade if it's there, right? And again, that's what I've talked about, right? Like, again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We only see the end result. Rob Pelinka made a trade, or he didn't make a trade, or he didn't make enough trades or whatever. But we also don't know, what's actually available, right? We get all the reports, but we've even seen over the years, usually the players that as frequently, if not more frequently, the players that the Lakers end up trading for aren't even in the trade rumors, right? It's usually other guys that we're not even thinking about, right? Which goes to show how much is really going on, but what people know behind the scenes. So again, I wish I knew what was going on. I wish I could sit, I wish I could be a fly on the wall for JJ Redick, right? Or not JJ Redick, Rob Pelinka. I do. I wish I could, but unfortunately I can't. And, so I got to kind of just hope that something gets done. But again, if nothing's there, no trade is better than a bad trade, right? You can make a trade that sets us back and makes us even worse. And not just for this season, going forward. I don't want to see the Lakers make trades just to make trades. If the right deal is there, fine. Like I've said, I don't even mind if the Lakers overpay if it's justified, right? But it has to be justified. Vando is still trash offensively, but now he's playable with that corner three coming around. Yeah, I mean, look, he's not there for the offense. Obviously, whatever offense he brings is just icing on the cake. We need everything else that he does. Everything. Him, if he could just hit 1-3 a game, that's perfect. That's all we need, right? Like, it's the defense, the rebounding, the hustle, right? The grit, all the things he does that just doesn't show up on the box score. Keeping balls alive, staying active. I mean, he had 3 plays that he just willed, right? He had that block, he had all kinds of stuff. When Reeves comes back, starting 5 should be Luka, Reeves, Smart, Ayton, and LeBron. I prefer Rui off the bench. I'm predicting those with the current roster, not if they make trades at the deadline. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably go with Marcus Smart. I would probably go with Jared Vanderbilt because I just think Jared Vanderbilt covers more ground. But that'll probably be the starting 5. If I had my way, and look, I've said this all season, I would still go with the same starters. Luka, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, and bring Rui and Reeves off the bench. But they're not going to bring Reeves off the bench. All right, I'm going to do a couple more because my need to go to bed and my throat is starting to kill me. Pause. If Rui refuses to come off the bench, they need to trade him. Don't do the same thing that happened to Connect last season. I mean, look, Rui publicly has stated he doesn't mind coming off the bench. He just wants to play the minutes and finish games, which the games, if he's killing it, finish him, right? The games where he's 5 of 7 from 3, keep him out there, right? But the games where he's struggling offensively, he's not really giving us much. and we know he's not going to be able to get the stops defensively, then sit him, right? Like, it just depends. Let's see. Keep Jake in the starting lineup. He fits perfectly with Luka and LeBron. He just does all the dirty work, does all the intangibles. I do. I think they play better when LeBron handles the ball more than Luka. It depends on who's on the floor. But yeah, there are certain lineups that are clear. Like when LeBron is handling the basketball, it's running more smooth. It's running more efficient. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. Because like I said, I'm like hanging on by a thread here, and I gotta wake up early. And I'm hoping I don't wake up sick as a dog tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you everyone that hung out with me. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. Seriously, it helps me out a ton. I know I usually go a little longer, but like I said, I'm just a little under the weather and I gotta wake up early. So I will see you guys Sunday? Got the Grizzlies again. Gotta beat the Grizzlies again. But anyway, I will see you all in the